Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Friday, August 9th, 4:37 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we still have it flagged as a correction, although that could be changing. And today we had day four of a rally attempt and seeing a lot of the leaders start to reveal themselves, and I'll cover them later on in the show. So if we take a look at the trend gauge market leaders, we still have a red arrow here, although some are starting to show that they're the leaders. Short term, this is our 21 EMA. We still have the red arrow there as well. Medium term, 50-day. Still have the red arrow as well. And then long-term 200-day moving average, the green arrow stays there. So here are the final numbers. Big 8 finished up 0.81%. RG8, this is our 8 growth composite, up 0.19%. S&P finished the day up 0.47%. Equal weight up 0.21%. QQQ up about 0.5%, equal weight up 0.14%, Dow Jones up 0.09%, mid caps flat down 0.04%, Russell 2000 down 0.27%, 60/40 up 0.42%, and in-house GROTECTION up 0.15%. So let's get into the inter-asset correlation. So starting with the S&P 500. So this is day four of the rally attempt, and we did close back above the 8 EMA today. And as you can see, that's the short-term moving average. But when the market comes out of correction, it's going to make the turn once it gets above the 8 EMA. And you can look here in this October-November area. That first close above the 8 EMA led to the start of the rally. You look here, a little false start here, but then once it firmly got above the 8, that's when the rally occurred. And then also we're getting that daily stochastic is starting to hook back up. But on the other side, we are running into a declining 21 EMA. That's at around 5,400. And then the 50-day also is at 5,446. So those are levels to be aware of. And if we look at the weekly, we held the 40 week, and now we're reclaiming the 21 week, and pretty nice weekly candle being formed here. So overall, with all the volatility that went on, the indexes finished the week roughly flat. QQQ, similar, we're getting back above the 8 EMA, held this 200-day earlier this week, and again, coming into some resistance. We have the 21 and the 50-day above. Those are areas to watch for. And this is putting in a strong candle against that 30-week. And you can see, I'll draw a line here. And this was kind of a previous breakout level right there. So see if the Qs can get back above. But obviously, tech has been the lagging sector as of late. And you can see that RS line. Dow Jones, similar, fourth day up into some declining moving averages. Mid caps coming back into this 50-day, and the daily needs some work, but zooming out on the weekly, still looks like a big, this is your base right here, and then still trading inside this handle. So if we finally start to get that volume through the highs of this space, that could be our cue for growth starting to outperform. Russell 2000 held the 200-day on the back test, rallying back up. So, that's kind of a common theme you're seeing with the indexes. Fourth day up and some declining moving averages next week will be a good tell. VIX, huge, we had that huge, scare earlier this week. Now all the way back down to 20, down 15% on the day. And if this keeps coming lower, the volatility is going to, we'll have less volatility, and that could be a better environment for swing and position trading. The dollar kind of just forming a little bear flag here after that big move down below the 200-day. Gold continues to be really strong. This 225 high, it wasn't friendly buying strength there, wasn't friendly buying strength there or here. So this will be about the fourth try at breaking out of the top of the base, and that could be the signal for gold. There's a lot of fear going on, so maybe money starts to rotate into here. And if you look at the weekly, looks good. That's a nice weekly base. And then the monthly, everyone saw this. This is just a huge monthly cup and handle breakout. This was a huge multi-year base. And then we started to see that tightening and we got that breakout. So definitely on watch. Gold stocks, GDX, get closing back above the 50-day. Silver, the weakest commodity really right now, just can put in that lower high right here, and now it's just been downtrending, relative strength going down. Not really an area of the market that we're focused on right now. Bitcoin, tons of fear when it flushed these lows and really strong 4-day snapback back into the base. But this is just a really volatile asset class to trade. And it's been a good buy on weakness. This is the third time that it's flushed hard and has seen a nice rally. The stochastics are putting in a higher low and hooking back up. And the weekly looks a bit messy, but if it comes back up here, tightens, that could be a good signal. And especially we'd look to trade the ETF or some of the crypto related stocks. Total bond, just kind of consolidating after that big move up last week. TLT, same thing, just kind of trading in a range here. 30-year in a downtrend now. The 200-day starting to slope lower, and then the 10-year again, similar story. All those moving averages are really starting to slope down, and this could be heading into a downtrend. So that's everything for inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Yeah, so we saw that big drop off in VIX. That's what we want to see. There's no news today, but jam-packed week. Look, next week we have CPI, PPI, and jobless claims that will be going on next week. The S&P, we got that close above the 100-day, held the 150-day and the 200-day. This is our first day up over the 8 EMA, but 7th day below the 21 EMA, and we have the day count now to up 2. Sector-wise, Bitcoin was strong, software was strong, and then 10 out of the 11 spider sectors were green on the day. So it was a pretty broad rally day today. And then weakness, solars continue to be in the doghouse. Oil was red, and then uranium. So a lot of those commodities. So in-house, we added to our S&P exposure firm second day close above the 100-day, and then also reclaiming the 8 EMA, good low risk spot. And then, the title of today is Day 4 Rally Temp Leaders Reveal Themselves. So we took 2 starters in names that we think are revealing themselves as leaders. That was Eli Lilly and Palantir. And I'll get into those charts right now. So we'll start with Palantir. So yeah, so this flushed down to the 200-day and then had a strong snap back up on earnings. And then this is what was really noticeable was on day 3, it was higher volume. So clearly people are buying this name, accumulations coming in. This 2750 was a key pivot, really started going above. And if you look at the weekly, that's a statement candle right there on volume. And yeah, this finished the week up almost 40%, and it's clearing this right around this 30 level up here. So it's really strong looking chart, has a lot of momentum, and it's clearly revealing itself as a leader. Eli Lilly, this is another one, had that sharp pullback with the market, and that's something you'll see, right, is the market starts to pull back. Just because a growth stock has stellar fundamentals, institutional sponsorship, etc., doesn't mean it's going to hold up. But this one had a relatively orderly pullback, and then the catalyst came in on earnings, huge volume. And today, once it took out those highs, we took a position there. And then this morning, a lot of the big banks had some really big price targets on this one today. JP Morgan and some others with like 1,000 price targets, and that looked to bring some more volume into this one as well. And, zooming out on the weekly, this continues to respect that 40-week moving average, getting back above the 10-week and the 21 week. So positive to see. And obviously GLP-1, this has the N in can slim. So good to see this working. And then, yeah, so the title was Leaders Reveal Themselves. So I got a handful of stocks to go over, but I highly recommend you guys check out the podcast we did earlier today. Myself, Don, and Ted, we all went through 4 of our top stocks that we're watching right now. So I'll cover a few of them in here now, but recommend that podcast to see a more in-depth analysis. So I just covered Palantir and Lilly. Kava's one I want to bring up. Strong day today, up almost 8% on volume. And this is getting back above the 50-day. And one thing we're noticing is the food stocks are starting to come back to life. So Kava led today. Sweet Greens had a very powerful earnings gap on volume, closing the day up 33%. Zoom out to the weekly. Again, this is trying to clear another weekly base. And then CMG, this has been the laggard, but this is starting to build higher lows off the 200-day. And then Shake Shack, this is another one. This had an earnings gap earlier this week, and it's kind of doing that U-turn setup. It pulled back, undercut the low, and now it's starting to rally back. So this was a super strong group in the run we just had. It corrected with the market, and now it's starting to right itself as maybe another leading group if the market starts to turn around here. ServiceNow, this is one that I mentioned in the podcast, but just a textbook can-slim stock, fits all the characteristics, and this has got a super long base. Shot up on earnings and then came back down, and now it's kind of coming against this clear downtrend line from highs, along with this 815 prior base high, and the weekly just looks fantastic. This is a well-established base that's starting to break out, and this one just seems like it was being held down by the market, but certainly a top watch. The market starts to turn around. TMDX continues to be strong after this earnings gap, and now it's broke back above this 154 level and just kind of hanging around right under those highs. And this brings me into just the whole medical biotech sector as a whole. XBI led in this run right here, came down with the market, but it's finding support at the 50-day. And if this can start to turn back around, this could be a good sector to play. And then I think this 100 level is the key spot on the weekly. It rejected here and here, and that looks like the clear stage 2 breakout if it can get back above there with volume. And another medical biotech name, ALNY. This is showing a lot of relative strength, and it's holding right at the highs. Let's see. Shark Ninja. This is another one that broke out on earnings on highest volume ever. This is a recent IPO, so this is good to see. This product is super easy to understand and relative strength, new highs with price, so that's super positive. Sorry, I just got a sore throat here. And then another interesting thing actually is the military stock. So LMT, this one had a super strong run, and it's holding this breakout, forming the high tight flag. Raytheon RTX, another high tight flag that it's starting to form. NOC is another one that looks good. So this is another area of the market. I don't know what these military stocks are foreshadowing, but the price is definitely saying something. And then ITA, this is the sector, and you can see it's holding up better than majority of the sectors right now. And then big tech wise, I want to talk about this because Meta is standing out as the clear leader in big tech. This is honestly in a multi-week base, getting back above this 500 level, and it's looking the best out of the other ones. If we look at Apple, very choppy, and it's rallying back into declining 21. Microsoft holding on for dear life here at the 200-day, and Google, another one that's just bounced off the 200-day but showing relative weakness. So Meta looks like the top one to focus on, and then the true market leader, NVIDIA. One thing to note is this high volume close right here it's sitting right at it. So that's always a key level to trade against. But obviously this one needs some work, but as long as it can continue to hold 100, that could be some support for tech. So yeah, Ted and I will dive into our whole weekend process later this weekend, but definitely some things to be positive about. We dipped our toes in two names that we think are setting up if the market wants to get back into a trend, and we're just taking it day by day. And as like to say this always is when the market cracks, that's the time where you should really get down and do your homework. This is when you're going to find the stocks that are resisting the urge to go down. And so once the market stops going down, your expectation is these will, rocket out into new highs once the market turns. So pretty positive action on the day, especially with individual names, something that we haven't been seeing the last couple of trading days. And yeah, come back this weekend and we'll have a comprehensive list of stocks, go over the indexes and earnings and everything to get ready for the trading week. And so, yeah, that's going to wrap it. As I always like to hear from you, my email is connor@revereasset.com. You can find me on Twitter as well at ConnorJBates_. And then you can reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. The phone is 855 Real Wealth. That is 855-732-5932. And we name our flagship portfolio GROTECTION. We want to participate in the market in an uptrend and protect when the market is in a downtrend. And if you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Friday, August 9th. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.